So as you can probably tell, I'm a huge fan of the Fate franchise. This is all the Fate Zero. This cost me like, I think over 300 and something bucks. I love this series. And this is also all of Fate Stay Night that was done by Studio Dean. This is the original series, and then Unlimited Blade Works, the movie. Now this is going to be my review and my first impressions on Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works 2014, the actual TV series, not the movie. This is an adaptation done by Studio Ufotable, the same people that did the adaptation of Fate Zero. Now I have played a portion of the visual novel of Fate Stay Night, and I gotta say, what they did, just the small little details that they put in from the visual novel, just absolutely faithful. Like, this is hands down the best adaptation of anything Fate Stay Night, period. Anything Fate Stay Night, not Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, this is better than. Because between the pacing, the perspective, the small details, and getting the characterization of their relationship, Rin and Archer, it was just like, Studio Ufotable is making Studio Dean shit themselves right now. They're like, what? How can we do such fucked up shit? Because this episode was like a masterpiece of a beginning. It gave you all the small details. It gave you the context of the relationship of Rin and Archer. If you watch the original Fate Stay Night from Dean, obviously it's a different perspective and obviously it's a different route. But even the Unlimited Blade Works movie, you do not get any of the relationship. It doesn't give you the same vibe or information that you got from this first episode, or this episode 0, shall I say, of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. It's like, it just gave you so much of the dynamics of their relationship, with Rin kind of having to earn Archer's trust and vice versa, and kind of their respect for one another. It's like, just so much of the context. I will honestly say I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the best anime of the year, and just one of the best anime in general, because of what they're doing right now with this first episode. Is like, this was an amazing first episode with great setup, great just everything, like the art and animation, just small subtleties of her getting out of bed and her like whipping her hair a little bit. It's just like, everything in this episode was very incredibly detailed, and it was remarkable. Like, if you've been asking for a while, what should I do? Where do I start with Fate? I'd highly recommend from this point on, start off with Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, the TV series, and then once this finishes, go to Fate Zero, and you can end your journey there, because this is some great shit. And for those that don't know about this series, basically this is some sort of tournament, I guess you could say, where the 7 servants and 7 masters basically compete to win this thing called the Holy Grail, and this thing is apparently supposed to give wishes. So ultimately that's what this episode kind of starts off explaining and getting into, and the pacing was really good. Like, in the beginning it was a little bit slow, kind of giving you the understanding of everything and getting more into these characters and kind of some of these mysteries being set up and everything. But once like the midway point on, it just starts, you see Archer getting summoned, and then, oh my god, that fight with Lancer. I mean, I was just hype as fuck. But hands down, as far as like fanboy mode, and again, this is more of like a first impression, my first thoughts, whatever, first reaction, so to speak, because when I saw Saber, when she was fighting Lancer, I screamed like a bitch, because that is my fucking character. That is one of the best females in all of anime, and I was just so fucking hype and excited. It's like, yes, like, Studio Ufotable, if everything continues to be like this episode, the quality of it, this is going to be just like Fate Zero. It could possibly even be better. And it was very smart of them to do it this way as well. Give this episode 0 so we could kind of get the perspective of Rin. And then next week, we're going to go over the same content to a certain degree, or the same timeline, shall I say. But it's going to be in Shiro's perspective. And while it's still the same time or whatever, what's happening, ultimately it's going to be different events, because they only cross paths like once or twice. So you're going to get more of Shiro's ideals and kind of get into his character. So definitely the way they're doing this, giving you all this detail and context, it's brilliant. And hands down, if you've never seen anything Fate, I highly recommend it. Like, this is one of the best well-written franchises I've ever seen. Fate Zero, one of the best anime, and this first episode, or this episode 0, shall I say, it was just gorgeous. It was great setup. The characters are so badass. Archer just kind of like being a fucking beast. It's really interesting how it sets it up that he's a beast, and we're getting some of his characterization, but he doesn't remember his past, so it sets up this mystery as well, like what's up with him, and just kind of launching into these fights. Like, these fights were breathtaking. These are the first episode 0 fights, and they looked amazing. Like, how do you do that, episode 0, and the fights like are 10 out of 10 type of fights? As for a setup episode goes, I gotta say that this was just amazing. It was amazing. Like, I don't want to give it a 10 simply because it was a lot of setup, so I'm gonna go with 9.5 out of 10. but it was just that remarkable. And I honestly say, if you've never heard of Fate, now's the time to get into it, because this looks like it's going to be an amazing adaptation. If episode 0 is any indication of the quality, yeah, give it a try. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more weekly reviews of this, because I kind of want to marathon it. We'll see how it goes. It just really depends on my schedule and everything, but yeah, Fate Stay Night for the motherfucking win, and it looks like Ufotable is bringing this unlimited Blade Works to us in the best way possible. This is going to be the definitive version of Fate Stay Night, period. But if you've seen this first episode, let me know what you thought, comparing it to anything you've seen Fate prior to this. How does it stand for you? Do you feel as though it's outdoing the movie? For me, being one of the few people that actually enjoyed the Studio Dean adaptation, I thought that this blew it out the water, this episode alone, so yeah, that speaks a lot. And your overall thoughts of this episode 1. If this is the first time you've ever seen Fate, what do you expect? What did you think? But that's all I have for this first impression. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that would be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.